Now when we can have, summer interns come up and they are every race, creed, color, gender, but they can see someone that looks like them on the bench. I think that is so beneficial because it's representation. And when they look at me, young kids, law students, whoever it is, I want them to say, if she can do it, I can do it too.
Video was recording.
Yes, they have collected video.
So it is video of the incident?
Yes, they have collected video.
Okay.
There is video of the actual stabbing?
There's video, there are several different videos that they verified.
Why were you armed, Karmelo, why were you armed at school? Explain your self-defense. How is this self-defense?
Excuse me. Every Texan has the right to defend themselves when they reasonably fear for their life. Self-defense is a protection that applies to each and every one of us. There are two sides to every story, and Karmelo is a 17-year-old kid and an excellent student.
I jumped for joy when I heard the news earlier today because Karmelo Anthony deserves to be at home with his family. He was put in a tough situation, and as a 17-year-old child, he acted out of fear. And I just don't understand how y'all cannot see that.
The moment I found out about the Karmelo Anthony's case in Frisco, Texas, this was my first thoughts, my very first thoughts. Anybody that has ever been in Frisco, stayed in Arlington, Dallas area, just no Texas, period. Frisco don't like us like that. Nothing else really matters. That's why, in my opinion, we learned of who he was. And his picture was on the internet less than 24 to 48 hours? This is why the racism is at an all-time high. It was in Frisco, Texas. It don't even matter if it was self-defense or not. If the county itself is racist.
I just trying to figure out, why do everybody act like they know what happened?
That's sad, bro.
Like, who knows what happened?
We just know you at a track meet, somebody got stabbed.
That's all we know.
That's all. It's nothing. Don't know what he looked like, what he did on Instagram, none of that. We went to a track meet, another student stabbed another student.
Simple as that.
Why did that happen?
That's all should be brought up.
That's it.
All this race, nobody likes us.
Color and all that.
Oh my God, bro.
The county, you was at a track meet, a public event, and somebody got stabbed. A student stabbed a student.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, this might be a crazy. This is a take that I seen that I said this might be something to it. Somebody said if the roles were reversed here, that if Karmelo was white, that kid was probably going to jail for murder.
Man, I'm on here asking. I just asked AI.
Now, if we look at the situation that happened with the guy on the train, how black people was going against him, and he was totally in the right.
But he got off, though.
I know.
But this is the thing, though.
He was totally in the right.
This is also the thing about that. He didn't have a weapon, and he was on a train. And I was listening, y'all know the Bruce Rivers dude, the lawyer who be on YouTube?
Yeah.
He talked about this. And he said, he broke it down like, he didn't really have a bias towards it. And he was saying, pretty much it comes down to, he's going to plead self-defense. So was his self-defense, your self-defense has to be like accurate to the threat.
Yes,
So
facts.
since the threat was
unarmed,
was like somebody was pushing you, you can't stab them for that.
You cannot at all.
That's not gonna go, because then, like, if someone pushes you and then you hit them or you tase them or that's accurate self-defense, but
we just gotta keep it 100. The dude used deadly force when all you had to do was walk away. All you had to do was walk away.
You could have did that, or use these.
The witnesses.
No,
I'm even reading.
You wouldn't have got no assault charge if you beat him up right there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, we just got suspended.
If you
detention.
He was afraid. He was 200 pounds and his brother was behind him.
Bro.
I
asked AI.
What they
I
saying?
asked AI. AI
what the
said.
people saying?
AI said
that doesn't mean it's true.
But what I heard about what happened at your old school.
Look. This is what we've been saying. It says Texas law bars self-defense claims if the person provoked the incident. It said if Karmelo Anthony's refusal to move and his warning escalated the situation, a court might argue he contributed to the conflict, weakening his claim. Well, buddy, there's your claim right there. You lost your claim there. Then it says proportionality. Deadly force must be a proportionate response to the threat. stabbing someone in response to being touched or pushed could be seen as disproportionate.
Yeah.
Brother.
That part right there, that's what Bruce Rivers was talking about.
Like you cannot just stab. Like if Brock pushed me, can I stab him to death?
That's why we was arguing. Yeah. That's like
then it says,
like if he would have hit him with something, hit him with anything, like you could argue that. But stab in the chest for a push.
Then listen. Then we're gonna use Texas law. It says self-defense requires a reasonable belief of immediate danger. A push or grab, as described in the situation, may constitute unlawful force. Boom, there's a charge. But Texas law typically demands a higher threshold of deadly force, like a threat of serious injury or death. And in this report, there's no indication from reports that Metcalf used or threatened deadly force.
Yeah, I mean, they say they have the video. I mean, the video is definitely going to be graphic. We don't want to see it. That's going to be bad.
And then his actions here. It says a verbal warning, like touch me and see what happens, followed by a push, does not objectively rise to a level justifying lethal force.
It's that proportion thing, though. Like, because if you say you're defending yourself and you would have done anything besides, like, stab them or shot them, you could probably, you're not going to get an assault charge or anything like that. But if I get pushed and I stab somebody in their chest, I'm in the wrong.
Bro, this all could have been avoided if he would have just walked away.
I just hate that on social media, everybody just make it all about race. And I seen how
it's both sides.
It's both sides going crazy, like extremely crazy. And
I
feel like, I might be the devil advocate, but I feel like black people probably wouldn't got as mad if they couldn't stop seeing the thug and the lighter and all the extra stuff. And that's why I feel like that was the retaliation of that. But I just don't understand why people just didn't leave it as two students just tweaked out at
and that's what it should have been. Both
sides
sides are wrong.
Because one was black and one was white. That's why they did that.
And it was just the outrage. It was the outrage from seeing a kid get stabbed at track meet at first. So,
man, I gotta keep it 100. Yeah, all these pages on the internet that stroke social division for engagement, they tried to make this a black versus white thing. Let's not sit here and play dumb. That's exactly what it was.
They shouldn't did that. It was two students. That's like, I feel like this incident that happened between them happens all the time, but we just never seen nobody just get stabbed.
Not a track.
All he had to do is walk away. That's why I can't support the bruh.
Was the 17-year-old accused of murder walking out of the Collin County Jail this afternoon after posting bond. Thanks for joining us here at 5 on a Monday. I'm Nicole Baker.
And I'm Doug Dunbar. So let's dive into it. Karmelo Anthony had been in jail since the 2nd of April, accused still today of killing another teenager. That's Austin Metcalf. And that accused killing happened at a track meet at a high school. Today, a judge reduced Anthony's bond from $1 million all the way down to $250,000. J.D. Miles was there for it. He's live for us right now outside the Collin County Jail. Anthony just left. We saw the video. What else do we need to know?
That's right, Doug and Nicole. Just 6 hours or about that much time after a judge lowered his bond, Karmelo Anthony was released. The judge who made the decision warned the accused murderer that if he violates any terms of his probation or tries to leave his home, he will be brought back right here to the Collin County Jail.
Karmelo, do you have anything that you'd like to say to the victim?
Karmelo Anthony emerged from the Collin County Jail 13 days after his arrest for the murder of Austin Metcalf. The high school student had nothing to say as he headed to his parents' home, where he will be confined to an ankle monitor. It's the result of a hearing this morning over whether to lower his bond. The families of both Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf arrived at the Collin County Courthouse this morning with extra security in and around the courtroom. A new defense attorney representing the Frisco teen accused of murder had his client's father testify about his son's character, telling the judge he was a captain of his football and track teams and that he held 2 jobs while in school. He's an A student, said Andrew Anthony. Yes. Does he have plans to go to college? Yes, sir.
And prior to this, what was on his mind was what college he was going to go to. This is a tragedy all the way around for both families.
Anthony, who told Frisco police he stabbed 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at a track meet in self-defense after an altercation, sat in a jail jumpsuit and shackles, while prosecutors challenged how the father could not afford the 10% needed for $1 million bond, with an online donation fund that's up to $400,000 and growing. With access to over $400,000, why haven't you bonded him out yet? Asked the prosecutor. We don't have access to that money, replied the father.
It's hard for everybody to be level-headed at a time like this. So that's where we come in. It's our job to be level-headed, to be fact-based, and to follow the truth wherever it leads.
That's what I want to hear right there. Hold on, I'm going to finish.
And prosecutors revealed
Facts,
today
not
that
feelings.
Karmelo Anthony was involved in an assault-type altercation at his school on February 4th that was handled internally by the school district. Other than that, he has an unblemished record, which is probably one of the reasons why the judge agreed to lower his bond. Live in McKinney, J.D. Miles, CBS News, Texas.
So this is really not uncommon for, if you have a clean record, to them lower your bond.
It's not
That's
uncommon,
not uncommon
you know.
at all. The fact that everyone, this judge should be put in jail and disbarred.
Everybody's upset right now.
Shut
There's a
up.
lot of emotions. And
Everybody
stuff.
need to take their emotions out. Stop all that
Fuming.
crying.
We
Stop
I mean,
crying.
I do understand the outrage.
Man, why is they
do.
crying
No, I
though?
do.
He was
I do.
both of these kids
Yeah,
should have walked
this
away.
is such a bad situation.
It is a
Like,
bad
I-
situation.
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah.
too
see-
horrible. Yeah.
I can see why people are getting
I'm
emotional.
just pissed off.
Okay, but he has no criminal record.
But bro,
so
why is
Yeah,
he
but
being,
he do
why is
now.
he being treated like a hero though?
nah, not yet. He hasn't been charged yet.
I'm just saying though.
He been charged, he ain't been convicted.
I don't think he should be treated like a hero.
They're raising so much money for him. He's riding in black trucks. I mean, man, they treat him like a hero.
Yeah,
I don't
but
think
this
he should
is,
be treated like a hero.
Yeah, I think
That's
this
insane.
is bad, bro.
But I
Because he
also-
could have
I
did so
also-
much different things in the situation.
And
He's
I
being
think
treated
he
like a
will.
hero.
I don't think the court. I mean, just based on the evidence, to me,
This
I don't know
tripped out,
everything,
bro.
but I just don't think that
He
he gonna
tripped
get
out,
off
bro.
on this.
I don't either. I don't either.
Yeah,
I think he's
tripped
getting
out too
charged with
bad, bro.
something.
Because he could have did so much at a school event, you know.
Like, if you just look at the facts, you brought a weapon to school, and that was not, an appropriate response to the threat.
It's kind of
All
hard.
he had to do
It's
was walk
kinda-
away. That's
I'm
all
still-
he had to do.
I'm still messed up about the situation that happened in Houston.
Yeah,
I
but
be
things
wondering. I
happen,
don't know,
though.
bro.
Things happen though. You can't
No,
just
you
because
don't.
this
I'm
happened.
not
don't
gonna
know.
sit here and
It's
say
gonna
I don't
happen
know,
here.
man. We know
Hey,
based on the
that-
situation. We ran track. If they tell you to leave the area,
Yeah, bro.
all you gotta
But
do
look,
is
though,
leave.
okay, and we know that. Do
But we
judge-
don't know what the
what's
court
the
system
what's
gonna
the
do.
judge and the-
What you mean?
What
But
they gonna
that
do?
does add context.
You know,
I don't
They
know,
gonna
man.
look at
If you
everything.
look,
Treat him like a hero
if you
right
look
now.
at the situation,
So
What he
okay,
did is bad.
Nobody that treating him like a hero is finna be on the jury that we know.
Well, the guy was in there. I can't bring up the New York situation. What is his name again? The white guy.
Daniel Penny.
Yeah, I can't bring him.
That
back.
was different.
That
You
was
see,
totally-
but
that
you
was
see, the
completely
social
different.
media was still like you
yeah,
said earlier.
black people are on the black guy side. That
so
died.
no matter what, they gon'
People gonna choose.
and they gonna be emotional. Like they worry about that.
But I think people should choose off. What's
Okay, this is a
right. I
different
don't think they're just
situation, though.
choosing off.
But
Like
that's
we
the
talking about,
problem.
we
That's
talking
the
about a
problem.
Black people
crackhead.
are.
That's the problem.
Black people are just choosing and propping him up when he's totally in the wrong.
That's
He is
the
in the
problem.
wrong, yes. But
You know-
in the situation, when you look at both of the history of the kid, they both was two good kids.
Yeah.
One kid tweaked out, and based on what he did, he's gonna get in trouble.
But that's why I said though,
They
bro,
can try to prop him up, and they setting themselves up for heartbreak.
we
for
need the
doing that.
video. We need the video. We need the
It's
video.
not gonna change though. We know he was stabbed.
No, I know.
We know that he got pushed and then he stabbed.
But if the white kid barely did anything to him, well, he's booked.
Even if he did push him though,
No,
that's
I'm
not
talking about
appropriate response.
exactly.
I mean,
if it's just a
If you
push,
put him in a sleeper hold and he was about to die and then he did it, that maybe then
that's why I'm
We just
tired of
gotta-
everybody assuming because we don't know what happened.
But we gotta keep it 100,
Everybody
man.
just assuming.
We gotta keep it
going
100.
off the witness statements.
We gotta keep it 100. His first lawyer that his family
Both
hired
family.
dropped him. That's his new lawyer, that white dude out there.
That's true.
That's
That's
something
bad,
to be conscious of.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
No, that's bad. That's
They
bad.
dropped him. That's something to be conscious of.
No,
Like
it
everybody
is.
out here, he's gonna walk home. He should be home. Well, that's debatable. Is he an innocent kid? They just said he was fighting at school, so obviously
say that.
he had a chip on the shoulder.
They did say that. I forgot they
fighting
said
at school
that.
too?
They just said that.
No,
in February.
It was a girl that came out also and that said that. Oh yeah, I knew him for like fighting at school and stuff, but I didn't know he would do this.
Yeah.
Which one of y'all showed me
Tweaking,
that?
bro.
Was it you guys that showed me that video?
That's bad.
Yeah, that's bad. So
I
that's
ain't
why
seen
I was
the
like,
video.
ooh.
The kid who known for fighting too.
I gotta
on
keep
top
it.
of
I
that,
gotta keep it 100. Like
just based on that.
Based on his criminal history, it's not uncommon for what they did for him to be released. But based on everything else I know about the situation, I don't think he's finna be free.
This
I
is my
don't
last
really
thing.
understand
This is
why
my
so
last
many
thing
black people is trying to defend him. Like, yeah, he's a good kid, comes
I
from a
don't
good
know,
family,
bro.
lives in a good area, but
You heard what she said.
I mean,
you heard what other lady
I'm sure you
said.
can say
You
that
stabbed
about four of
someone
us,
who
and if
pushed
one of
you.
us tweaked out like that, I'm gonna say, look, buddy, you might be fucked.
You stabbed someone who
Yeah.
pushed you.
But
I got both my
You know
parents
why
at
they're
home, grew up in a
defending
good area, live in a nice house
What did
or
the
a decent house.
What did the black lady say on TikTok? They were in Frisco. That's why they're defending him.
Bro, but you stabbed someone that pushed you.
Is that clicking in the
If the
brain?
roles were reversed,
And that's why I said that comment might have that just debunked it. That just blew it open right there. Because the roles were reversed. Oh my God, it'd be actually a Black Lives Matter march going on right
it quite
now.
literally might be.
So, you know, hey, black people, y'all gotta look at the facts here, bro. Just not off the feelings because the kid black. I don't know this kid, man.
Yeah, don't.
We gotta do what's right at the end of the day. My last thing I'm gonna say is we know Karmelo was totally in the wrong. Period. No matter what happened, unless this guy was in a full out chokehold or his life was threatened, he was wrong. Period.
And even then, I think that someone would stop it if they thought he was about to die.
Exactly.
Like, I don't think they would. All the kids in there would just let someone just die.
What I have seen that happens in Texas, I technically don't know what type of charge this guy will get.
Yeah, but you can probably see the case. You see, there's cases like that, but then there's other cases where they probably don't have a lot of evidence on people, and they still convicted them in Texas.
Yes, but
so there's cases on both ends of the extremes.
Say, oh, well, he was
we don't know what they're gonna do, bro.
They're
gonna say you got pushed and you stabbed. Those are the facts.
You, bro,
like you said, the other stuff didn't matter.
The kid in that other high school stabbed 6 people.
Yeah,
and he got manslaughter.
Yeah, I don't know how he got off with that, but that don't mean that it's just gonna happen every time.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys are using a situation that's completely different to.
I'm just saying,
it's literally apples to oranges.
I'm just saying we don't know. We technically don't know for 100% that this guy's getting charged with murder. We don't know that.
Yeah, but in my opinion, I think he will.
I know he's gonna get charged with something.
Oh yeah, that's all I'm saying. He's gonna get charged with something.
That's what I've been saying too.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think he will be charged with murder.
I don't think he's gonna do life in prison.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
He might do it 20 years.
He's not doing that long.
I don't know.
We don't know, bro.
I honestly will be surprised if they give him 20 years.
I wouldn't.
I'm gonna keep it 100. I think based on the situation, he's looking at like 10 to 15.
I don't think he might. If they don't rely to self-defense, it's capital murder.
Capital murder?
Yeah, he's charged as an adult.
Yeah.
Capital murder though.
He should be charged. I mean,
if he gets charged with capital murder, he's not getting out of jail.
He at the end of the day, he was wrong, guys.
I think he'll get charged with second degree.
Let's see what
happens. You think
happens.
2nd degree?
They said they have the video.
How?
That's gonna prove everything, really.
Second degree is when it's not premeditated, right? It just happened.
But you used to have somebody in their heart right here.
Okay, then that means it's second degree or manslaughter at the least.
That means you trying to kill him. You trying to stab somebody right here. That
bro,
means you trying to end him.
You successfully did that too. So.
Yeah, you trying to end him, bro.
He get charged with some type of murder.
Yeah, second degree is not premeditated. He gonna get second or third degree for sure. For sure.
Let us know what y'all think in the comments, guys.